like to know why Cable Powell made her look different in his hair?
What do you got noticed? They also sort of diminished her role as well. I guess she's back to being the science nerd for the group. Does that mean she's an official member of the BSA?
Even Dylan Blake doesn't see her as a threat, seeing as he apparently pulls all the files for every graffiti survivor but her.
They were looking for top secret files from received by a terrorist going back to Vatican City. They managed to steal data on key personnel in the
I forgot Taylor was going to part of this team too.
Yeah, but one of the people was a YouTuber. No way he's going to cure that idiot.
Fucking YouTuber, bro.
Hey, your boy got here. Check it out. I'll check it out.
I think they would get inside the tunnel. That's that water BOW and destroy the dock in front of her. I took this Godzilla from 1998.
Downgrades aside, she's still an badass. Because remember, she actually uses her brain. She's the one who actually puts the police work and figures out the commonality between all these people. And it took her maybe 15 minutes.
The police couldn't find a connection between the books that were subject. But I got a little deeper and found they all had one thing in common. They all visited Alcatraz recently.
No way.
Before you can say it, no. While everyone else is just throwing whatever they can with some of these weapons they're not even sure how to use.
You know how to use this? Just figure it out.
What happened? Did you ever get something your father said? Overloading it. It's messing with the creature's chemistry.
And she still comes to fight as well. She's like the cleric in the group. Kills them up first and then adds to the yes.
I will admit, I like seeing her with that rocket launcher. That was pretty cool.
But sliding on your back as if you're recreating that slide shot from Afterlife was a little sus, not gonna lie.
I know you're not throwing shit out of that scene when you got Leon trying to do a fancy parkour jump, and Claire's ruling like this is an interpretive dance class or something.
Fair enough.
Alright guys, let's move on to the mystery of Jill Valentine.
Why does she look like the exact same as she did back in 1998? It's been 17 years and she didn't age a motherfucking day.
Like I said, it's weird that they use the same model from the remake. However, I guess that just bolsters the theory that the virus is then lets her pump into her regenerative powers, so she ages much slower than anyone else. Kind of like Sherry's birthday to me. At least Nicole Tompkins still voices her, so that's good.
But it's not fair when you think about being long souls from the Dutch.
And yet, after everything she's been through, she still goes into a possible POW trap just like a soccer mom. Christ, she's grappling with an actual zombie and she's willing to risk her safety for fashion.
Looking like a badass while doing this too. Like on the firing range, expertly handling that shit. I love that she still uses her samurai knife. That little Easter egg is great for me.
Until she loses her skull. I am not sure if she ever gets it back either. Leon gives her a gun later, and I think she just keeps using that.
You got a gun?
No. Fuck.
Yeah. Speaking of the how'd you like it? She just starts to kick the shit out of Leon, and Jill just watches him without even trying to help. Fucking the Cheddar, who's younger and less experienced, Charlotte did a psychopathic job in just a night.
That's not the only thing that was also funny to watch. For some reason, Jill also had trouble with the rails on that stair. She had zero problem testing the one back in 98.
I'm throwing my back out, so I try to blood this thing. The problem with that fucking emotional baggage that's weighing her down. That's got to be the only reason why she's slow on reaction. Can't list the shit. And even has a problem with just shooting a single liquor.
The fuck shooting, splashing liquors all over the place in those tunnels.
Yet not the one that has her legs. Jill and Leon struggle with that for like 10 seconds. Get on your game, girl.
Maybe she's still traumatized from when she was almost licked like this was Alien 3 or something.
To be fair, everything is always going your elongated appendages at it.
He said, it's probably just coming because of
I was the really walk here and then come after us. No one's doing this. Now this makes you think some hot water, but fucking, I hope this sticks. It's time to survive the deadline for 6 years of girlfriend. You've been holding on to this the entire time, walking around like a emo teenager, giving sarcastic quips at the dinner table.
I can understand her struggle for maybe a year. Come on, see? It's a little ridiculous, I agree. But at least she figured that shit out while doing her best Bryce Howard impression from Jurassic World.
Good thing Joe doesn't have any high heels on it.
That goes back in the hardware.
Motherfucker, stop stating these films with those rotten pieces of shit.
Yeah. Thumbs up, Mark.
I just think that it's a good thing they encountered a villain who finds about his own misfortunes enough that she can get through her own shit. Can you imagine what would happen if there was another asshole that just wanted to destroy the world for the last?
Maybe that's why she wasn't around after the fire. That's been arrested her from Lester in 2009. That time and now. Revelations happened. Things happened. And vendetta happened. What the fuck is she doing?
Technically getting tested on at the PSA, which, by the way, she emailed very perfect this time, saying that not only did they list her as killed in action, but they didn't even give her a funeral.
Didn't stop them from putting up a headstone now, did it?
Great stone. Alright, we fought around long enough. Let's finish this up with our last get.
You finally starting to feel late, man?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because this Kevin Bacon looking motherfucker has had backstory in any PC. This guy was so close to becoming a fucking hero of the Super Bowl that I just wish he didn't end up the way he does for now. I mean, come on, we actually get to see a bit of the other side of the Raccoon City outbreak, now with the UDCS.
We're just mercenaries. Hired hands.
So the umbrella special forces, this is coming from Alpha Team. So the regular security forces tasked with evacuation.
The other part was swift evacuation of umbrella forces.
You're on that journey, going places. Hey, what did you do? Trail in your round paper, sponsor, a big head.
Government officials only. No civilians.
So watch how most of these guys didn't know what the hell was going on. And then to be thrown into all of that chaos, but this so nice to see.
I mean, that's true, but I'm not going to discuss these credit. I guess that's as far as humanity will go. He doesn't give a shit when it comes to shooting civilians, but then finally bucks at orders when his friend is dying.
Anyone in Raccoon City who's infected must be shot on sight. No exceptions. Not even our people.
You want us to kill the team?
Terminate with extreme prejudice.
You mean his friend JJ? Dearborn, how many more characters are going to pop into this franchise with two-letter names? And why do they all start with J? So let's get into the meat of this guy. Yes, it's just like everyone else we've covered. A man who loses someone close to them, thus he decides to use a virus to get his revenge on the world. I'm going to use my virus, blah, blah, blah. However, and maybe it's because he's been the closest to actually take down the main protagonist. I enjoyed it.
He was definitely entertaining, that's for sure, even though he ripped off the whole Two-Face thing from The Dark Knight.
I don't know, he does say that the blazing bull is elegant or something.
For the person inside, light a fire under it, then sit back as the bowl heats up and slowly burns.
Excellent side of it.
Look, I get that you guys like him and shit, but this is the same green-jacket motherfucker who in one breath will talk a bunch of shit about big corporations and corrupt executives. The huge corporations and the corrupt execs that run them. The ones getting big, fat bonuses for maintaining status. And then we'll speak about how they shoot and lives and he died. He acts all high and mighty, but in the end, he still killed his best friend over his own survival. Maybe pull that trigger a couple more times instead of once, Joey. Can't save your friend from your MP5, but then you cheated by taking care.
He actually manages to infect 70% of the entire resident evil main protagonists in a single one. And then he finally begins to kick them while they're down.
Oh yes, ripped right into each of them. It's glorious. Leon gets shit on for the way he works for them.
Leon and Kevin, working hard to people who lie and cover up the truth. I mean, he's not wrong. They did cover up their involvement with Raccoon City, plus that shit with Helena and the president's assassination.
They will also not disclose the headlines to the public secret.
The president has done this thing.
Then throw to declare.
You think your group helps people, but they don't do anything to stop the actual cause of all the suffering. They offer bandages instead of real solutions.
I'm surprised he did talk shit about this slogan.
Terrorists say. They can't stand. Doesn't that boy have to work for it?
But he's right. The terror scene hasn't done a damn thing since the fucking terror breach of Japan. And that was years ago. Plus they did fuck up that whole thing with Harvard Bill back in the generation, not to mention the deal on Sinai.
But the best one is what he said to Chris Redfield.
And Chris Redfield, despite the fact he lose team members on every single you keep coming back with more. How many lives have you sacrificed in the name of justice?
That's the kid fucking slapped hard. Hey, Colin actually made that shit canon.
Yeah, I agree with Bear. That's such a great highlight of the film. But then he gets real stupid after this.
Which part of the force? He deliberately does not infect Jill for some stupid as all fuck reason.
I got to love. So she could experience what I went through.
Well, wasn't it true that Rebecca would come and save them with a cure that she'd be able to concoct? So just use program and drone to infect her either.
So that is more together by now.
I expected she would. All of those, but the worst is when he actually steals yet another DC villain's move and uses it as virus protector on himself like the Joker did in Arkham Asylum. And then becomes that giant, dunwich horror-looking monstrosity, being some of the parameters of his fight. Where in the formula that say that infected human plus infected shark equals ultra-sized BOW,
Who knows? To be honest, most of these infected fuckers are just Cronenberg wet dreams. And even though he's the biggest of them all, he doesn't really do much during the final fight. Just stomps around and shit, bellowing every once in a while. That was it. Classic big monster before finally dying to a falling object cliche.
Well, that's what his ass gets for starting a fight with military-trained specialists inside a giant armory filled with weapons and shit. I mean, fuck, there's literal vehicles with mounted machine guns just sitting there. How the hell did he think this was going to turn out?
like I said, his final plan got real calm real fast. So I am going to give this a solid A.
I mean, yeah, I'm sitting on that too. Even though it's really good to see the rest of the six families back together, they still didn't give that note perfectly to me. What do you think, Derek?
To be honest, I agree with you.
Really? I thought we would have an argument.
Especially now that the S tier is practically taken. There's not a single Resident Evil film that belongs in it.
To be completely honest, no, at least to me, there isn't. Yes, these are leads better than the live actions. Yes, seeing these characters doing things that are canon in past games is great to watch. But if I am being completely honest, that's not all that I want to see in a Resident Evil film. I want to see the horror and the fear that hooked me into this franchise in the first place.
Exactly. I know we've joked about it a bunch, but seriously, when every single villain has the exact same motive, then the fourth one is not going to make it any better.
Plus, it still has the echoes of the Rock to it, to be honest. I mean, if we're going to ride on Anderson for ripping things off, we couldn't give this one a free pass to be fair.
There are moments in this, and even in the last couple of films, that show us the power to make a great Resident Evil movie.
How so?
Just make an origin CGI that takes place during the Spencer Mansion incident. It can't be that hard. Especially when there's scenes like when Jill is in the house by herself, or when Chris brings her other mentions like that. Hell, even Damnation shows off how fast Vickers can be. This replaces a lot of the action that characters out of the death and feel like they can actually die, instead of fighting ugly humans while making jokes. The pieces are there because they've been constructed correctly. That would make an S-tier Resident Evil film for me.
I guess in the end, it's really based on what you feel is true at its core of Resident Evil. Is it survival horror with great conspiracies and multiple protagonists fighting for their lives? Or is it action horror with terrorists like villains fighting against unique protagonists with experience and confidence backing them up?
I had a day like this. I had traded from Atlanta to St. Louis, got in at 2 o'clock. Game was in 5. I had a couple of Burger King chicken sandwiches, and we might have spent more time in the offensive zone this one for Vancouver. We here was trying to come up with the buckets. Jack can't have a goal like Slavkovsky, then can't the rebound a lot. So Ronan for Vancouver. Drops off for Hughes, and he'll bring the puck to 7. Lee Evans turning, dumping the puck around the back. There's Connor Garland. This is distance. The rush gets the puck, feeds the line. Now 1 point leaders. 1 point for Ronan. Good shot. Get the point. Anderson puck on the hook. With the no legs. Turn to the far side. Garland is there to make good.
Man, oh man, today is such an interesting day for sports. I already mentioned it in the previous video, something would have been like 20 minutes before this one. But I've had to scramble a little bit because obviously you're watching a video on the Montreal Canadiens and Vancouver Canucks game for today. I was bouncing around between this and the Blue Jays, and then the Detroit Red Wings had themselves a baller of a comeback against the St. Louis Blues. So much going on in sports, but man,
I forgot about this too.
Game. It's always so conflicting for me whenever these two teams play off against each other because Montreal always seems to beat Vancouver, and I always have to have a little bit of sympathy because a good chunk of my fan base here is Vancouver-based. So of course, I'm disappointed in my Canucks. I want to see them win as many games as they can, but if they lose to Montreal specifically, and demigods Slavkovsky and Hudson get finally points in the process of the number fantasy team, there can't be too bad, unfortunately. Speaking about fantasy, I just wanted to say at the very beginning, I was debating starting Thatcher Zemko and Renata Dobec today, because ESPN, they have a rule where you can't set your lineup after the first game of the day. And the first game of the day today was 9:30 a.m. in the morning. So I was like, oh, do I go with Dobec? So do I go with Demko? But then I realized, I was like, wait a minute, Vancouver plays Edmonton tomorrow. So they're going to start Lankin today. And then they're going to say Demko for the Edmonton game tomorrow. Dobec probably is going to go back, but there's one thing about sucks right now. Yeah, let's keep Dobec in.
You're not chasing Dobec, but you got win for me.
And Dobec ended up getting that win. The Montreal Canadiens have defeated the Vancouver Canucks in regulation with a score of 4-3.
At this point, we print signs so people can see your brand up close. But we also print signs so that people can see your business here. See it here. And see it here. So you can stand out. And keep wondering.
Now, here's the thing. You can say what you want about Dobec and fantasy points and whatever, but the truth is, it actually didn't look the best for him to open up this game because not only was Vancouver riding high on the momentum and the opportunity of newly acquired Lucas Reichel entering the lineup, but they also started things out with a really beautiful rush. Started, initiated, and scored on by Lucas Pettersson. 5 minutes into the game, Connor throws it over to Petey, who dashes down the right wing, enters the zone, and it is a beautiful drop pass, leaving it for Philip Hronek, who was trailing maybe a second or two behind. Hronek picks it up, drives down the right side, and then tosses it in front for Petey, and Dobec totally is out of the play at this point. He was committed to our electronic side. Petey has ages to shoot. He receives, he takes, he shoots, he scores. It's a beautiful goal by Elias Pettersson for his second of the year, and it was all set up by him. Yes, Garland and Hronek got assists, but that goal was an Elias Pettersson masterclass goal. Probably the best goal we've seen him score that he was primarily involved in creating in a long time. That was vintage Elias Pettersson going out there and getting things going, and that continues to be for a little bit more as Vancouver got themselves the 2-0 goal in the second period on the power play. It's Elias Pettersson over to Quinn Hughes, who takes a shot towards the goal, and it's tipped in front by Jake DeBrus. He gets his boys to going out there and scoring some assists from the same power play goal. This is exactly what Vancouver has needed a little bit more the past few games here, and they beat Jakub Dobek, get themselves up 2-0. It's a good play for PD, good play for Hughes. Lots of confidence for Quinn to be able to shoot it. As we mentioned earlier in today's show, the guy has arguably been a little bit too controlling of the offensive shifts, not trusting much of his teammates and not trusting them to do what they should be able to do offensively. Well, you can say that didn't happen here because Pete. Edie gives the puck over to Hughes. He rips it, and Jake DeBrusk is there for a pin-perfect tip-in. However, you get yourselves Montreal bouncing back with a power play goal of their own 10 minutes later. It's Nick Suzuki who carries a beautiful feed from Ivan Demidov. And oh my goodness, I was so happy watching this goal go in because I got Solkowski and Demidov on my fantasy team, and power play points are worth more than normal points. So I was like, wait a minute, what happened there? Solkowski got a touch on the puck before it was sent over to Demidov, and then Demidov, instead of shooting it, he throws it back to Suzuki. Not throws it back as in he starts doing the weird dance. No, he literally tosses it back the other way. Langdon fully commits over to Demidov, which you cannot blame him for, because Ivan At the perfect shooting lane there, it looked like he was going to get a shot on goal, but nah. It is instead sent back over to Suzuki for the wide open net to bring the lead back down to 1. Montreal is on the board, and they just continue to put it on the third. Slavkovsky on the power play off of an Atu trip at the end of the second period is able to tie the game with his 4th goal of the season. Slot throws it back over to Cole Caulfield, who finds Lane Hudson. Hudson throws it towards the goal. Demidov touches up. Then he sends it over to the side. Slafkovsky buries it, and that is a perfect goal for me because I've got Hudson on my...
Yeah.
Fantasy Team 2. I was like, yes, let's go. These are all the guys I need to get points. Because I scratched them all today. And I was like, yes, as long as Demon slot and Hudson can go off, especially in the power play, I'm a happy camper. And yeah, sure, it's self-surviving Vancouver Canucks at the game down in Montreal's favor. They've got the momentum. It's a tie contest.
Stop. It's this. With the GMC's here in Denali Munster. Right now, get 0% financing on all remaining 2025 university models.
All it took was 7 minutes from Mike Matheson to then bury one by Kevin Murphy. Assisted by Jerry on the post two. This is a non-nice goal for Langdon to let in. You don't want to see him let in long range. Really kind of no screen of wrist shots. I mean, there was sort of a screen for a split second, but when really, I don't think Langdon should have been in that position, but he didn't see that one coming. He just gets beat. And this puck is coming to him from distance. It's a long ways away. I do think that Matheson delayed the shot a little bit, kind of threw Langdon off, because you can see that he was square for like a split second before moving himself out of position just to try to get a better look at the shot. If Matheson shot that one right away, I think Langdon probably would have had a much better time catching it. But no, he was totally weak here. Not a good look for Kevin Langdon. I think a lot of Canucks fans are really starting to lose confidence in Lank the Tank, and for good reason too. He has not necessarily been the same caliber of goaltender that he was last year when he was stealing games for the Canucks, and we saw that especially here tonight against the Montreal Canadiens as the Habs got themselves the 3-2 lead. Give it a few minutes though, and this is where we start to see Montreal come alive even more, because Ivan Demidov ends up getting a beautiful one-time slap shot out in front, assisted by Alexander Carrion and Oliver Kapanen. That's my guy Demidov with his third point of the night. It's a beautiful setup and a beautiful shot. Oh, Russian hockey players taking one-timers on the side. There's something so beautiful about that. Ovechkin, Demidov. But the Canucks don't go away without fight. Because with the goal called, we have ourselves Vancouver actually bringing the game within one with about 4 minutes to play. Henderson goes back over to Hughes, who goes back over to Pete, who throws it towards the goal, and it's Connor Garland who takes the puck in front. That's his third of the season. Henderson and Hughes get themselves another assist yet again. Elias Henderson had 3 points in this game. And I think this might have been the best game we've seen out of Pete in years. Just with the confidence, the plays, the actual point production. He was frustrated as all heck, but he still ran away with this game with 2 points. But this was a game with some narratives. Cole Caulfield got hit by Evander Kane in a very damaging way. Caulfield was kind of down receiving the puck, and Evander Kane took full advantage of that, just burying the shaft of his stick into Cole Caulfield's back. It was not pretty at all. Evander Kane got a penalty for that, rightfully so. Kane's got to knock it off of that clown stuff. Lucas Reichel debut today, he was pretty alright. Honestly, he played fast. It probably couldn't have been any better for a guy suiting up for the first time after getting traded yesterday. He was alright. And Josh Anderson, I wanted to give a big shout out to him. He had a breakaway short-handed that he ended up missing and hitting the post on, which inevitably resulted in the Jake DeBrusque goal to make it 2-0. But he showed off some wheels as well that I wanted to get into the video here. So with that in mind, Vancouver, they lose on home ice 4-3 to the Montreal Canadiens. It's a pretty strong power play showing for the Habs. I thought 5-on-5 the Canucks were a little bit better, but still, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And I got my fantasy points from guys that I needed.
Your ideas comes by introducing the around the show
Alright, so the New York Rangers are one of the few NHL teams that are not actually playing a game later today. Or who have already played a game today, actually. So with that in mind, I feel like it's okay to dive into them and their trade situation on this day, at this time, as I sit here, eagerly anticipating the start of Vancouver Montreal. We're on the profile of one particular, Brendan Hoffman, because we have ourselves an update as to what the trade situation is going like for him. But we also have to set up some of the context here. So, as we mentioned, the New York Rangers are not playing today. They've got the Calgary Flames tomorrow at 5. That is Vancouver time. They then listen to the Vancouver Canucks and then the Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday and Thursday. That Tuesday game is going to be very interesting because it's JT Miller's grand return to Rogers Arena. Now look at how many JT Miller chants we end up hearing in the crowd that night. But these recent games for the Rangers have been quite daunting. 6-5 overtime loss versus the San Jose Sharks, with that very same JT Miller contributing to the Sharks' overtime winner. He said in the media that he didn't take the opponent seriously. The team, the Rangers, that didn't take the opponent seriously. Thus, the 6-5 loss. Then you had the 3-1 loss to the Rangers earlier on Monday. That wasn't fun to watch either. I mean, aside the win from Montreal, New York is doing really poorly these past few games here. Loss against the Caps, loss against the Oilers, shutout in back-to-back games, by the way, loss against the Maple Leafs, beat Montreal, but then loss against the Wild. On to the Rangers subreddit. It is the proposed forward lines heading into their 4-game road trip. You've got Panarin, Miller, and Radish, Sherry, Zibanejad, Lafreniere, Bill Cruz, Lava, and Brennan Hoffman. Then you've got Edstrom, Carrick, and Parson. So, yeah, this looks totally great, doesn't it? Top comment says, look at the guy out there. That's amazing. The quest for an actual first line ranking continues. Glad to see Cruz being back down. He was awesome last year, but I think he's more suited to a third line role, and hope it works out for him. Trocheck going down really messed up our original look with Zibanejad playing first line right wing. Ready for that third line to throw bombs when Cruz back at his house and he thrives. I missed when the Rangers have players I like to watch and play. And then you've got a bunch of other people going out there and just saying, yeah, I mean, every line has at least one not great player. It's entirely true. Some lines are too. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting to watch. But speaking about the New York Rangers and talking about their progression into the next little while, we do have ourselves an update on that Brendan Hoffman from Elliot Friedman. He went out there and said this on 32 Thoughts when asked, the Rangers have requested good AHL prospects in exchange for Brendan Hoffman. This is, of course, from his article from a few days ago, 32 Thoughts Flow Slip into the Danger Zone as this season begins to slip away. And it's thought number 11. It's a very short thought, it's just right here. And it's quite interesting to see some of the responses from Rangers fans on this piece of info. Isn't that what Brendan Hoffman is? I think they're probably looking for a change of scenery trade on both sides. They're also probably looking for a left-handed team or a center prospect, because that's where the team has the weakest depth. Center should absolutely be their priority. Every other position can be filled far easily. But center, that's a tough one to find. How does everyone look at our track record and not just completely clean house from both our scouting and development departments? Leavish Anderson, Vitaly Kravtsov, Capo Taco, Niels Malfus, Alexei Lafreniere, Libor Hachek, Gauthier, Jones, and now Hoffman. All first-round draft picks, some obviously not our draft picks, that we have failed to develop. Something has to change. And that, I think, is a pretty big conversation that we can also talk about when it comes to this Rangers squad. You know, we talk about what Brendan Hoffman is, and how he isn't necessarily working out too well. Even in Hartford, he's only got 1 goal in 4 games. Now he's going to be playing with New York, still trying to get the monkey off of his back. He's got 25 total games played NHL experience and 2 points. So obviously, Brendan Hoffman, former first-round prospect back in 2021, he is not working out as well as he could be. Your first steps down there are to see your career advantage. You have to talk to second off that way. You obviously that's the time. Just look at some of the other guys who are taking after him, who have produced a lot more in the National Hockey League so far. I mean, immediately taken after Hoffman was Zach O'Reilly, who's the stud for the Montreal Canadiens. Wyatt Johnston is over here. Zachary Rowe is over here too. And then in the second line, we've got even more good guys like Josh Jones, Riker Evans, and Owen Zellweger. Logan Stankovic probably should have been taken a lot higher. Matthew Nyes is a first liner for Toronto. I mean, say what you want about the Rangers in particular, but they haven't been good at drafting. And this was also expanded upon more on this thread on NYR's subreddit. What should have been done better in hindsight? It feels like ever since the letter, we've gotten the worst of both worlds. We had our rebuild from 2018 to 2021, and even though the 22 to 24 seasons were a lot of fun, it feels very empty now considering where we're at. After the disaster of last season and the slow start this season, what should we have done better? The top reply says we probably should have kept Gordon and JD. We still don't know why exactly they got fired. They got fired for not keeping in the goalies and still goals on the letter, or put simply because goalies isn't anybody. Okay, that's something that I think us fans, you can go out there and dive in this as much as we want. We need to draft better and have better draft luck. Our consensus first and second overall picks were between 4 Sixers. Then let's give it what? 5 top 15 first rounders? Kravtsov, Anderson, whoever else. Yeah, I'm going to fill it out blank sheet again for you. Leavish Anderson, not great. Of course, Vitaly Kravtsov, not great. Brendan Hoffman, the subject of today's video, not great. You can say Niels Lundqvist, not great. Filipino, he's okay, but he's not an improver. Now his career could be potentially on the line. Cheeto wound up getting badly injured back to the help because he has at least the ability to be good. That saved the rebuild because that was the rebuild. Then we just started trying to plug holes at the picks well enough to leave us with. Looking at no good upcoming UFAs, our lack of assets that could be traded for impact players, and the lack of any real